Hi, son. It is so great to see you today. If you have a second, I'd like to talk to you about happiness. It's been on my mind, and I have a couple of things that I think might be worth sharing. So, today is Saturday, and you're a toddler at this point. You're 3.5 years old. It's just at the start of 2026 now, and we've got a pretty keen ritual, you and I. On some Saturdays, Mama goes and works at the flower shop. These are just such special days for me personally because it's my opportunity to really get to spend a really good portion of the day with just you and I. I know Mama's got her own challenges she faces as a mother, kind of staying home all day and while I'm here working. But I do find myself getting a little bit jealous sometimes of just the opportunity that you both have to bond while I'm away at work. So these Saturdays, they're like my opportunity to really make up for lost moments. A lot of the rigidity and the structure and the rules that my wife puts in place for your development, they kind of get a little bit put over into the corner when it's just you and I, and we get to have guy time. On top of just spending time with you, I don't often have the opportunity to just sort of hang out, watch TV or kind of veg out. I've always got some initiative, some big idea on my mind, or I'm at work or driving towards some initiative. So these Saturdays are kind of like unwind sessions for both of us, I would say. So Mama inevitably gives me that side eye as she's walking out the door, and we're both standing at the door waving like good little boys, bye, Mama. And as soon as she pulls out of sight, we are slapping high fives with each other and we're hitting the couch and turning the TV on, right? I love to watch you get excited about all the things that you're seeing on screen. At this point, you've got a couple of shows memorized. So oftentimes you'll find your way over to those shows and then you'll kind of be reciting the lines and kind of reading the script back to me and sort of calling out things as they appear on the screen or even sometimes before. I'm reminded of what my mom used to tell me about how I would sort of memorize segments of my favorite TV shows and movies. Specifically, I was obsessed with The Wizard of Oz, apparently, growing up. I knew all of the characters' parts, and I was especially partial to the Scarecrow. I even went as him one Halloween, and my mom told me a story about how I made her do my face paint just so, and she had to keep undoing my face paint. I was maybe 4 years old, and for some reason, I needed this really angry expression with my eyebrows, and she couldn't get it right. That reminds me a lot of you because you are so theatrical and you'll be sort of reenacting all the things that you see on TV and you'll just sort of be turned up to 12, when these moments hit that you're partial to. It's something I never could have prepared for, just sort of seeing myself in the mirror in the way that I get to raising a toddler, raising a young boy. And it's so special and it means so much to me and gives me such perspective on life. So today progressed like many other days do. And we had this, interplay between us where you're bringing your cars over to the couch or I'm going to go make a snack and ask you if you want some. And we're just kind of playing off of each other throughout the morning. You're still in this phase where you kind of need naps sometimes, but not all the time. And in this particular morning, you were up with the sunrise. Sometimes you sleep until your alarm goes off and other times you're opening the door as soon as it goes off and I'm down at the bottom of the stairs waiting on you and I can just tell you've been waiting for that alarm to sound so that we can come downstairs and hang out. And on these days when you wake up early, it's quite often that you sort of exhaust yourself throughout the course of the first part of the day. You really love back scratches. And that's sort of been a thing that you recognize whenever I'm on the couch and there's an opportunity, you'll start to kind of arch your back and you'll look at me and you'll go, I think I need a scratch. I think I need a back scratch. And I can't do it myself. And I know that's my cue. It's like I kind of put my hands up and I open my lap and you sit up on my lap and you even got the posture down. You just bend right over so I have optimal scratching capacity and I get to go to town. So right around noon today, we're starting the back scratch routine. So another thing about back scratches is that you get really relaxed whenever we're doing the session, and I don't think I kind of put it together while I was doing it today, but I do feel you get a little bit slacker and slacker on my lap as I'm just sort of doing this while we're watching the show. I'm kind of almost meditating, just giving you your back scratch. And next thing I know, my legs are falling asleep because you're heavy at this point. You're over 40 pounds, Next thing I know, I'm like uncomfortable and I kind of have to take a break, So I pull your shirt back down because you like lift it up so I can get all that fingernail action. So I pull your shirt down and I set you on the ground and I say, did we do it? And that's sort of my signal of, hey, I'm tired, or are we ready to move on to something else? And your lips pucker, you look back at me and you get so emotional and you just start bawling. And I don't know what's going on, because normally these back scratches make you so happy. And, I'm dealing with kind of like my legs are asleep and then I'm getting this energy at me from you. And I just don't know what's gone wrong. All of a sudden we went from like meditative to full meltdown. And it can happen like that at the toddler stage. It can just be joyous one moment and then complete car crash the next. My instinct as a parent, as a father, is to solve the problem. So I'm looking at you and I'm going, what's the matter, buddy? What's the matter? What's the matter? And I'm getting a little bit worked up myself, because it's just that energy, and you just want to solve it, and you don't want your baby to hurt in any way. And I think for some reason, my what's the matter triggers you even worse. I don't have the capacity or the response that mama has. Mama will just sort of welcome you into her arms and you'll get to kind of work through that circumstance yourself. And I feel like she does a much better job at settling things down. My energy just sort of makes you want to pick up a pitchfork and just kind of fight fire with fire, it seems like sometimes. So we have this like 5 or 10 minute battle of wills where you're saying, I just wanted a back scratch. That's what you're saying. You just can't keep repeating that. I just wanted a back scratch. And I'm saying, I gave you a back scratch. I gave you like a 10-minute back scratch, And you keep coming back with, I just want a back scratch. And it's like not working in my brain. I'm trying to figure out how to diffuse the situation, but I also can't sit you back on my lap because my legs are asleep. And that's when I happen to look up at the clock and I see it's 12:50 and you go to your playtime / nap space in your room at about that time, 12:50 or 1 o'clock. And then suddenly it's hitting me. You're exhausted. And my back scratch just sort of set the table for you. So I'm trying to like pivot and nudge the conversation up towards your room and kind of get you prepared for that whole process that we need to go upstairs. And I'm saying, I think you're tired, buddy. I think you need a nap. Enough of this go around. And I'm just sort of like, I feel like there's a little bit of tenseness in my voice that I don't want there to be, but it's just sort of like all this stuff is built up in me too, because I'm seeing this stress on your face. And it's one of the absolute worst feelings in the world as a parent, to feel when your child is sad, when your child is in need. And this can happen almost daily. It can happen at any moment. And that's the tightrope that we walk as parents, that we have to maintain ourselves and our composure, and we have to try to steer, and we have to guide, and we have to present rules. But at the same time, you have such direct access to our heart. So anyway, we're kind of on round 9 of 10 in this boxing match you and I have. And I say for maybe the 11th time, hey, let's turn the TV off now and we're going to go upstairs and have some playtime. And if you want to take a nap, that'll be just fine. I'm sure I say it a little more pensively in the moment that I'm presenting it here, because you look back at me and you say, I just want you to be happy. And this bowls me over. There are moments throughout our experience together where you've said that to me. And it's in these moments when I know that I'm just not projecting what I want to project at you. I've got some anger, or I've got some impatience, or I've got some sharpness that should not be there. And that's the coldest dousing of water that I could experience, is just hearing that from you, Because happiness is you for me. And laying you down for your nap time today and tucking you in, you're just upstairs right now, just knocked out, and it's about 10 minutes until I get to go see you again. But seeing you sort of get tucked in there, and you're snuggling your hedgehog. We call him Hedgie. It's this little stuffed hedgehog, and you press him and he makes kind of bedtime songs. And I could just feel you settling in and feel your comfort there. And I could just feel the necessity you have for me and for those who love you. You don't want me to leave the room. I try to set a precedence so that, you can be on your own and learn how to comfort yourself. I want nothing more than to curl up in that bed with you and just make sure everything's okay. So I get you tucked in and I reassure you that I'm going to be back as soon as that alarm goes off and we're going to have more fun together while we wait for Mama to come home. I tell you I love you and I head downstairs to pour some lunch for the dog. And I've got the baby monitor with me and I'm just watching you kind of nestle in. And as soon as I see you turn your head over and I know that sleep is going to take, I sort of exhale and I think so much about how much joy there is in every moment as your father. And I hope you get to experience this one day, this feeling of being a father yourself. And if that's now, if that's today, if your son is having a nap upstairs, just know that this is such a universal feeling, and the conflicts that's there in your own heart and mind as a parent, you'll figure it out. And on the other side, you'll have a beautiful child. It's been so great getting to spend some time with you today. If you got some more time, I've got some more stories, and I look forward to sharing them with you. All my love to you.